Are you a deviant? You know, like those of us who binge watch serial killer programs, laugh at the stupid shit people do, and revel in anything adult? Well, you found your people. Join us as we crack open the door to the padded cell and release the insanely stupid, the weirdly wonderful, and those who choose to live outside societal norms. We'll delve into the strange, the macabre, the sexy, and the outrageous. So, if you're a deviant, then you have your place with us in the padded cell. Hello and welcome to episode 48 of the Padded Cell podcast. I'm Vicky.
I'm Nancy. I'm just swallowing my biscuit.
Oh, sorry. Had I started too soon?
I was like...
What biscuit you eating?
I just stole it off the table.
Oh, I've noticed you've got
They've
a
got a new
bowl of
little
biscuits.
snack
Yeah,
jar.
we've got a new bowl of biscuits.
So what is it with the bowl of biscuits? What?
I think Jacob just took a notion and seen some biscuits in here. We love you when you come in, Vicky.
It's a good
you want
call.
the biscuits?
You're making out that they're just for us, that everybody
of
can have the
course.
biscuits. What biscuits are there, Rye? Rye's still here.
I had golden oak crunchies or something.
Yeah.
those.
Ginger. Belgian chocolate.
Oh, stem ginger.
Belgian chocolate.
Don't like
So
Belgian
Ryan's having
chocolate.
a takeaway of biscuits.
I love a ginger biscuit.
like-
And those oat ones.
The ginger stem are lovely. They've got a nice little tang
Yeah.
to them. Anyway, I want biscuits. So I'm Vicky, you're Nancy. Hi.
And we've got biscuits.
Has the biscuit gone now?
It's gone.
Out your teeth and everything, so you're not going to show
promise.
biscuit. Have a little swill around just in case. So today, this is going out on the 15th of August. 15th of August. I think it was around this time last year that we did our very first recording. It didn't go out until September, but I think it was around the 15th of August that we actually recorded it, because I think it was 4 weeks
Yeah.
until it actually went out for the first time. It should have gone out sooner, but I was boozing it at Benidorm Pride.
You were.
And it couldn't go out until I came back.
I think because we couldn't record the next ones until
That's
you were
right.
back, could
yeah.
we? So
I was just
we didn't
holding
want
back a
break
little
that.
bit. So I really do think it's probably almost exactly a year since we did our very first episode. And our very first episode was the Penis Museum. And I really want to still go. Me and Jim have been talking about it. I just haven't had any money because we're moving house. But we're going to go, I think.
Yeah.
If me and Jim can't go, me and you could go.
Yeah.
Maybe Rye, see.
Maybe.
Maybe too much penis around for Rye. But yeah, it's just what a mad year. What a mad year. But anyway, so 15th of August, it's Ben Affleck's birthday. Is he somebody that you like?
No.
He just plays himself a lot, doesn't he? He's not quite on the...
You better be careful because we got slated last time we talked about an actor.
Loads of people are agreeing with me.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreeing with me. But he shares his birthday with Napoleon Bonaparte.
Don't know
You
who
don't
that
look him.
is.
Oh, fuck off. You... Nance?
As in Napoleon.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was his name. I thought...
For a second, oh my God. So I was just going to throw something at you then.
I didn't know
You
he had a
nearly got the
surname.
avocado bouncing up your head.
Didn't know he had a
Headache, Tim.
surname.
Oh, okay.
I thought by
I don't
the
know who
full
Napoleon
title,
is.
it was
Okay.
someone different.
Napoleon Bonaparte. So it's his birthday as well. So Ben Affleck shares his birthday with Napoleon Bonaparte. Didn't really need to know that, but you know, there wasn't much going on the 15th of August. Okay.
Dull news day.
It was. Well, actually, no, there's a few things that have gone on, but birthday-wise, I wasn't really impressed with the list. There's nobody on there. I go, fucking hell, it's their birthday. I was looking down going, God, who's going to pick out of this lot?
Boring.
Yeah, apart from Napoleon, who didn't know who it was. Right, on the 15th of August, 1988. I don't know
That was
whether
a good year, though.
Dylan would remember this. Why?
I was born.
You were born this year? Oh, you won't remember it then. You would know about it, but you wouldn't remember it. I was like, you're young, you're older than Dylan, aren't you? I think so. You won't know either.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm 28.
She's just a baby.
Fucking hell. Do you know what? I just feel old every time I come in here. Anyway, 15th of August, 1988. Sorry, 1998. Oh, fucking hell. It was actually the day of the Omagh bombing in Ireland.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there. Me and my auntie. Yeah.
1998 it was. Sorry. So, obviously, I've got family in Ireland, and I've actually been to Inniskillen. I've got family in Inniskillen, and you can still see the buildings. I've got, like, you know, all shot buildings, you know, like holes in them from gunfire and stuff. And I think they're going to leave it like that forever. It's just a reminder, isn't it, you know, of what happened and not to go back there again. But the problem with the Omagh bombing, I mean, obviously an awful lot went on in Ireland around that time. But there'd actually been supposedly a ceasefire at that time. The groups involved had come together and they discussed basically a ceasefire. And it was all going very well until the Omagh bombing in 1998, and 29 people were killed. The IRA did actually phone ahead with a warning 40 minutes before, but it was inaccurate. And the police inadvertently moved people towards the car bomb rather than away from it. And the people that were killed, they were people of many ages, nationalities, religious groups, backgrounds. There was unborn babies as well. The pregnant lady was killed. And this was actually a real turning point. And people died. It is a tragedy. People died. And the reason why it was a turning point is because the peace talks had commenced and people had agreed to stop this. Because this happened after those discussions, it was almost like it caused outrage internationally and domestic. It was like, you've broken this agreement. You'd agreed to ceasefire and you still went ahead and did this. So actually, the IRA did step forward and they agreed there would be a ceasefire. It actually spurred more work towards maintaining this peace process, which has been a little bit rocky over the years, but they have maintained. There's been little pockets of things here and there. But the Omagh bombing was just so devastating at a time where actually they really should not have been fighting at all. They'd agreed not to do this anymore. And they did it in such a disastrous, horrific way. The whole world just went, okay, you've really fucked up now. You know.
It's actually quite interesting with the Omagh. So that's where I went to school. Omagh. That's where I'm from. During that time, obviously after the Good Friday Agreement, after that's what you're referring to, the ceasefire. So there's a subsect of the IRA called the real IRA. So it's almost like once the Good Friday Agreement happened, it was them that went, I don't think so. But it was this event that made everyone kind of go, no, this is us. This is bad. And what it was with that missed call, so Omagh's on a big hill and there's a court up at the very top of the hill. So the police assumed it was there and pushed everyone down the hill, and that's where it was.
It's just devastating, isn't it? Yeah, really devastating. And when I've been back over to Northern Ireland, he goes to the Garda stations and that. And there's always like really high walls around the stations, you know. So even though, you know, there has been a ceasefire and it's still, you know, very peaceful for the most part, there's reminders everywhere that this is really recent history. You know, 1998. My first son was born the year after. It wasn't that long ago. So when I've been looking on, research and what happens on days when we do these things, every single date, without fail, so far, there's been some kind of war or conflict or riot or devastation like this on every single date so far. I've been doing the on this day thing for a little while. So I started looking, I've just picked other little random dates. My birthday, for instance, and Jim's birthday. Every fucking one. There's been a war somewhere. And, you know, humans fighting each other and conflict and killing each other. It's been, you know, around since the beginning of time, hasn't it? But it's just so shocking when you see it on paper like that literally every day of the year in time, there's been something significant like that happening. And even though this is going out on the 15th of August, I don't know what the situation is going to be in this country on the 15th of August. Yep. But right now, on this day,
think of it, to be honest.
Right now on this day, there's been riots everywhere, hasn't there? Now, I've lived through lots of different riots over the years. I was brought up in the Toxteth riots in 1980, 1981. I actually lived right by the Toxteth riots. The sky was orange and red. And it was terrifying. We couldn't go out. And you could hear the destruction and the fighting and the screaming. It wasn't like screaming of fear. It was men fighting. And even at that young age, it was terrifying. And I went out into the street, into like the main road the next morning, and there's like a car burns house and there's just debris everywhere where people have been fighting in the night. Very scary. Shop windows were just smashed in. And it started out as a political fight there. And it was people pissed off in the 80s. They were striking. There just wasn't many jobs around. Bins weren't getting emptied because of the strikes. The government, Margaret Thatcher, it was just a shit show. People were angry. They were very angry. And in Toxteth, it was a very predominantly black area. Mm-hmm. And so people took to the streets to fight the system, if you like, but then started fighting each other, and it became racial as well as political. And in the end, I don't even know whether half the people that were going to this thing were going to fight for the original cause. They just went for a fucking good fight, to be honest with you. And I thought we'd have a little chat about what's happening now. I don't want to dwell on it too much. You just said, I don't want to think about it. But it's a very current thing that's going on, and there's a lot, I think, to sort of pick apart with this thing. And I just wanted to throw out really for your thoughts and yours, Dylan, because this is started, it's been catalysed, hasn't it, by the children being killed in the school in Southport, which was just fucking devastating, man. Absolutely devastating. It's unthinkable to think that you put your child in a daycare, a dancing daycare, thinking, well, they're going to be safe while I'm at work, and then they're not. They're killed or they're very badly injured. And so I understand why people are very angry, but they're directing the anger in the wrong direction, aren't they?
Yeah,
really?
It's usually the way, isn't it?
Yeah. And so these riots have taken place, and even though I think they've started out being racially motivated, there's also people now who are jumping on, who are just generally angry and are taken to the streets to have a voice, if you like, and they're fighting a system. They're using this now as a platform to say we're pissed off with the state of the NHS system. We're pissed off with how the government have run the country for the past 14 years. We're pissed off with the fact that immigration isn't controlled, illegal immigration. We need things in place that people are processed, but also safe going through that process. So there's a lot that people are getting angry about at the moment. So even though it started out with this incident in the school and people directing it in a racially motivated way, which is completely wrong because the guy has got brown skin. That's the only thing, isn't it? There's no proof whatsoever that there's any terrorist link so far. But people have jumped on it. But it's everybody else now. They're like, right, okay, let's take to the streets, let's have this fight. And it's going off everywhere, isn't it?
It is.
In all the big cities around the country, Liverpool being one of them. Obviously, Southport is just down the road. But the Strand was absolutely fucked up the other day.
The videos I seen on Saturday was just horrific.
When you're watching some of the people, and we're talking like right wing, they've gone a bit feral, to be honest with you, haven't they? You know, but then you've got everybody else, and when some of the pictures I saw, some of them are getting involved, some of them are fearful, they're frightened, but they're still carrying on. Yeah. And I'm like, gosh, people in this country have got to a point to where we were in 1981, where they're just frustrated and angry in general. They've got no outlet for it whatsoever. Yeah. And so they're jumping on this opportunity now to have that voice and thrash out. But it's the wrong way to go about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't know any other way to do it, but they're choosing this way. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Like, I seen there's a poor guy, policeman, ragged off his bike by literally a lynch mob of like 30 to 40 guys.
This is a guy doing his job. He's in work.
He's literally just got up to go out to, I don't know, support his family, to do a job that he obviously cares about. These people knew nothing. Yeah. He's literally just doing his job on his own, and there's 40 of them beating the shit out of him on the ground. Yeah. For what purpose? What is that going to solve? Yeah.
It's sickening. It's absolutely sickening.
And you can see people are wanting to step in and help.
But they're afraid.
But everyone's too terrified for their own safety.
The problem is people carry knives now.
There was people locked in the shops in the town centres and stuff, and you can see on the videos, oh my God, they've got knives. Yep. And there's me texting our teenage kids saying, are you at home? Are you safe? Yeah. Because it's just terrifying.
I was concerned about some of our staff going home, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I was trying to see where it was going off. It seemed to be going off all around the front, really. And I know most of ours are either on the Wirral side, or they'll come out the tunnel and the tunnel will take them away from it. But I was concerned about our staff getting home. I was like, oh, I'm trying to think, does anybody live in town? You know, do we need to make alternative arrangements for them? And it's still going on.
We had a lot of guests in on Saturday night who were actually staying in town. People visiting from Ireland who actually watched a podcast. It was the first thing she said.
Really?
It was their first visit to Liverpool, staying in the town centre. And I was like, she said, we really wanted to go for food on the Albert Dock. Yeah. And obviously they can't get across the Strand. And then they tried to go back. There's police blocking that way. I was like, this is not the welcome to Liverpool that you deserve.
No,
this is not.
It's not. But hopefully they understand that it's not just Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of a much bigger picture going off everywhere, isn't it? We actually had a couple message us and say, we were going to come over, but we're staying in a hotel in Liverpool. We don't want to come out.
Yeah.
What? You don't want to come out? We were looking out of our window and it just looks terrifying.
Yeah, it's just a sea of people.
Yeah. It's going to be terrifying, isn't it? So it's scary. It's scary times. And, I don't know where it's all going to go.
I don't know. I really feel for the families of those 3 little girls. Because like the first one in Southport, imagine your life's bad enough at this point and then
all that going
you
on.
walk out your front door and that's what you see.
Yeah. They've got enough to be going on with, haven't they, I just don't know where it's going to go next because I get the feeling that this is just the start.
Yeah.
I think now that people are out there, because the numbers are gathering, when you watch online and stuff, the crowds are getting bigger. People are travelling in to the cities to actually take part in these things. So although the original motivation for this was definitely racial, it's developed now. And I just think it's going to get bigger and bigger because people are now like, right, let's take this opportunity. Let's take this opportunity.
Yeah.
I just think they're doing it in the wrong way. But come on, government. They're saying, well, we'll lock all the thugs away. Absolutely fucking do it. But actually, maybe take a little step back and listen to the people who are angry now. Not the racist ones. But, the reason why other people, normal people, are possibly thinking about putting themselves in that dangerous position and protesting. Why would people do that? Why are they motivated to do that? It's because they're angry, they're poor, they're pissed off, they're paying through the nose for their utilities, they can't get a doctor's appointment, there's holes in the road, the Tories have ripped the fucking soul out of this country for 14 years. This is what happens when you run a country badly and you rape it, sorry for the word, of every last ounce of money and resources and any kind of passion you had for your country.
Yeah.
You don't hear people anymore, see people flying the flag for the UK anymore proudly.
No.
Most of us are not proud, actually, of being British nowadays. And it comes from this 14 years of just hell, basically. So I'm really hoping that the new government see a little bit beyond this and actually see why people are taking to the streets. What is motivating them? It's not just this incident. They're just using this incident and listen to the people. I just don't think they will. I think Keir Starmer, a Tory in a red tie. Hate to say it.
Totally agree.
Hate to say it. And, we don't really get political on here very often, but this is a current thing that's happening right now and it's frightening people, isn't it? Yeah. So I wanted to bring it up. What do you think about it, Dylan? Or do you want to share that?
Yeah, it's very hectic at the minute. It's all, that's it. It's so charged from an event like that. It's so sad, but I always come from it from, obviously Irish people are ingrained in English society. And I think it's really interesting when there is a racist tirade that goes off and go back to your country and all this. But say half the people that might be talking will have Irish family who were those people 200 years ago, have other parts of their family, if they looked in their ancestry, that they'd be surely shocked. And I think it's people should forget that very quickly when it becomes an agenda for themselves. So it's horrible to see.
It is. Yeah. It's awful. It's awful to see. And I wish people would look at immigration as a positive thing. To have like this melting pot of culture and skills and education and beliefs, and it just makes us a lot more colourful and a lot more interesting, doesn't it? I just don't understand this is our country. It's like, no, it's just a piece of land on a fucking big world, and it doesn't really belong
on a floating rock
to anybody. Get over yourselves. It's just I just don't know where it's all going to go, man. And it's scary times. I'd like to say it's going to be interesting to see how the government handle this and where they go with it. but at the detriment of what? Along the way. How many people are going to have to be hurt along the way, you know, of all colours.
Yeah.
Sad times, sad times. Right, so I'm just going to say a little hello to our new Patreons. We've got Jessica, Moll, Claire, Carol and Dolores. Love that name.
Reminds me of
Ghost. No, reminds me of
no,
Ghost.
what's the other one?
Dolores.
With the nuns.
Oh, Sister Act. Oh, that might be what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Same actress.
It is.
Still whoopee.
I've actually put Ghost. To remind myself. What was she called in Ghost? Oda May.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love that film as well.
Oh, well. If somebody called Oda May joins Patreon, I'll mention it then.
From Ghost.
Oh, yeah. Sister Act. Went to see it last year, didn't we?
Yeah, it was that good.
It was so good. The only thing that I didn't like about Sister Act was the original songs from the film weren't in the play.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. I was a bit disappointed about that, really. But Ghost, I know it doesn't really thing because it wasn't called Dolores and Ghost, but that was the first film I cried at in the cinema. And I think I was, oh God, how old was I? I was really young, I was about 13, 12, something like that. And I was a goth, as our dad says. So it's like, you know, black makeup, black hair, black everything. And I was trying my best not to cry. And my auntie was sitting next to me and my cousin was sitting that side. And my auntie said, I just looked over at one point and she just saw my lip go. At the end, and she sees him before he goes off into the light, and she's like all crying. I'm like, and I thought I'd been discreetly just like dabbing my face. And when I walked out, my Auntie Jean went, because all my black makeup was all running down my face.
Like Kiss.
Not like, yeah, like Alice Cooper. I thought I'd been discreetly just like dabbing my face and stuff, and I hadn't been. So yeah, Ghost. I wonder how old that is now. I think I was about 13 or 14 when Ghost came out.
Go on, Dylan, tell us.
Go on, Dylan. On the
I'm
keys.
On the case. 1990.
Oh, there you go. I was 15.
I was 2.
Feel so old sometimes.
-6.
So now you were going to do a little segment today, but your head's fallen off, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah.
So our poor Nancy, if you don't know, she gets migraines, don't you? And they're not just migraines; they're like head falling off migraines.
Yeah.
Hence
It's a
why
neurological condition that I have. It's really a bit shit.
Yeah, yours always knew it, like funny in the head.
But if I look extra bitchy today, it's because I just haven't got the energy to move my face.
Poor little head. So I'm doing all the talking today. Now, I did have a segment that I wanted to do, but I'm going to leave it for another day because, I don't know, I just want to make it a big long one because there's so much to say about it. I don't want to rush it. So I'm just going to move on to a little story that Jim and I were talking about, and I want to immortalise somebody. We've got about 10 minutes, so I want to immortalise a guy who, he probably thought he was a nobody, and he was just a guy. He was never famous or anything like that, and his name's Charlie. And when Jim and I worked in the club all the time, we used to be there like Thursday to Sunday, every single weekend, sometimes more. Monday was our Saturday night. And our local pub in West Derby Village called the Halton Castle used to have a karaoke night every Monday night. And so it was like our Saturday night. So we'd get, not dolls up, but, you know, put my best jeans on, my clean knickers on. And we'd go along to the Halton Castle and I'd have proper drinks because, again, like Monday was like my Saturday and Tuesday was like my Sunday. So I'd like have my hangover on the Saturday. And so I'd go for a good old bev, and I got to know everybody in the karaoke. And Charlie was the karaoke DJ. I was the youngest there, probably at the time. I'd say the average age was probably about 70, to be honest with you. Everybody was really old. But you know when you're in a room full of characters who've lived a life and they're just dead funny, and the people that get up on the karaoke were fucking hilarious. Anyway, the funniest of them all was Charlie, because he was deaf. He was deaf. He had 2 hearing aids and he was the best at lip reading. But even with his hearing aids, he was quite profoundly deaf. I think what he could hear was maybe like tone, but not actual accurate sound. You never described it to me, but that's the impression that I got. But at one time, I think he's been a good singer before he was really deaf. Because Charlie, regardless of the fact that he could not hear anything, he used to sing, and he was the worst singer I have ever come across on karaoke. And because he was the karaoke DJ, while it was warming up and you're getting your pint in and all that, he'd warm the karaoke up, and he'd do a bit of Elvis and stuff like that. He'd do Roy Orbison. Anything you want, you got it. That one. It was terrible. It was out of tune. And in that bit, he goes really high in it. And he was so flat. It was unbelievable. But I could never work out if Charlie knew that he was bad and just hit the fuck it button, or whether he thought that he was still a really great singer. Because nobody ever said to him, oh God, fucking hell, Charlie. What they do is they choose their piss pause or their ciggy break when Charlie came on, because nobody ever wants to tell him that he was really, really bad. So this was the only karaoke in the whole of Liverpool that didn't need to beg people to go up and do songs. All of us would put like 5 or 6 songs up just to stop Charlie from getting on the karaoke. He was that bad.
Sounds like me when I'm driving. And it's just me.
But that's you on your own. He had the fucking microphone with the best karaoke system in the whole of Liverpool, considering it was a little, I guess shit, bloody pub then, it's not shit, but a little pub. He had the best sound system. So yeah, Charlie. But Charlie also had leukemia. It was in remission. And we all had a little soft spot for him. We were quite protective over him. He's only little guy with glasses, baldy head. And over a period of time, where his karaoke was, the bar was just there, and this gang of guys used to hang around the bar and around the karaoke, a bit obnoxious, bumping into people on the karaoke, and Charlie like that, move away, like that, But yeah, he's an aging man with leukemia, okay, in remission, but telling these young men to shoo, they wouldn't listen. And we actually got a bit pissed off with it in the end and stopped going quite as regularly, maybe go like once a month, twice a month. And it was because of these guys. I know one of the nights we weren't there, we found out that the guys were really stirring the shit, and Charlie got really annoyed and punched one of them. Like, go ahead, Charlie. But he got sacked for it. Oh. I know. Cunts. Anyway, everybody went nuts. They were saying to the pub, get him back. It's not the same without Charlie. Other people tried to have a little go. A guy off the radio called Rick Horton. Hiya, Rick. Don't know if you watch us, but you're right, mate. He tried having a little go. And then some other guy called Tom, he tried to have a go. And I'm sorry, Tom, but honestly, I'd get one song on if I was lucky. The amount of piss pauses and fag breaks this guy had. You'd do a song. Rather than actually have his cig while you're doing the song, he'd stand there doing a little mixing while you're doing your song. Then he'd go out and have the longest cigarette ever, and then a piss. And then 15 minutes later, if you were lucky, you'd get another song on. So we stopped going. Sorry, mate, it was your fault. And Charlie never came back. And we think it was about 2 or 3 years later, and we found out that he died suddenly. Oh. And we think it was his leukemia had come back, but he was never the same after he left. He never ever came back into the pub. Nobody ever saw him out socially. He just sort of cut ties with most of the people that he got to know in the pub, and he just seemed to like fade away. And I'm like, that karaoke kept him going. Yeah. A man who, I'm sure he had friends and everything, but, who else is going to employ? I don't even know if he got paid. He might have just done it for free because he loved it.
Sometimes people just need a purpose, don't they?
And I honestly think that was his purpose. His purpose was to go and entertain the masses with his terrible singing every Monday night, get everybody up on the karaoke. All the older men, some of them were in the 80s, and they were fucking brilliant. Getting them up on the karaoke. Probably wouldn't get up on the karaoke anywhere else, but they did on this night. It got everybody out. And then he stopped, and then all the other men stopped coming one by one. And some of them were dead now. We found out that some of them had died. George, oh my God. He used to sing he thought he sung like Dean Martin. He didn't really. All these characters that Charlie brought together, and he was sacked and then died. Oh my God, I was devastated. So, Charlie, the karaoke DJ with the 2 hearing aids. You were bloody brilliant, mate. You made our Monday night. And I am so sorry that you lost that job, because we lost the karaoke after then. It was never the same. So wherever you are, I hope that you've got a microphone in your hand. Thank you. I think that was a good moment for the farples. I'm not too sure. I'm like, sending me wishes to dead Charlie, and you've given him a farples.
I was trying to time it as best as I could.
Okay. Oh, God. Do you know when something just stays with you?
Yeah.
What a guy. What
It's
a
funny, there's probably
guy.
so many people like that through your life that you meet.
Yeah.
Who just don't know that they make an impact on your life.
We've talked about this before. You know, when you think that what was it? The 5 people you meet in heaven, the book. And it's all about the impact that you make. You don't even know. And Charlie probably didn't even realise that. I don't think he was getting paid. You know, I think he just did it for fun. And the difference he made, all the men that came out, he probably lived alone, or wanted to get away from the wives, who came out every Monday to do their little turn.
Imagine the pub not backing him up though, probably because the fucking group of guys spent a few quid.
There was a guy called Matty, and I think he used to be in the RAF or something like that. And he was a great personality. He used to sing this song called Hula Hula Girls. I know it sounds shit, but he was like 80, and he had a pink shirt on. He used to wear pink shirts, and he was like doing the Hula Hula Girls like this. I'm like, where else are you going to see this man doing this? It was just brilliant. Anyway, before we finish, I'm going to turn. Today has just been full of all sorts. It's been a little mixed bag, hasn't it? I'm going to turn it round to micro-penises. Now.
Woo! Oh, God.
So,
that was a big whoop.
He obviously identifies. So, a micro-penis.
Yeah.
I'm bringing this up because I've got a little story attached to it, but 0.6% of men are born with a micro-penis. And to be classed as having a micro-penis, it needs to be under 7 centimetres when it's fully erect. But most people with a micro-penis, it's actually an inch or less when it's erect. It's like very little.
What a sad time.
So, a lot of the guys that have this condition, most guys, they've actually got a hormone deficiency before they're born. And it's very apparent at birth that they've got a micro-penis. It's like a little button, basically.
It's a little nubbin.
So little baby's willies, it's an obvious willy, but with these, like a little button. And so the parents know pretty early on they're going to have this. Some can get erections, some can't get erections. Some people do go on and have children. They can successfully still go on and have children. But it must have a psychological effect on them, mustn't it? But they find their way around it somehow. And a lot of guys with this, they turn it round and they actually enjoy the humiliation associated with having a micro-penis. Not everybody, but that is how they cope with it psychologically. It's like, well, I can't do nothing about it. And if people are going to laugh at it, well, let's give them something to laugh at and put myself out there. That's what a lot of them tend to do. I'm not saying all. So you've got a micro-penis and you don't, Soz, but, some do. And if you don't, maybe have a little think about it.
Give it a whirl.
Yeah, give it a whirl. So, to end on, I've got a story about a guy with a micro-penis. And I didn't know he had a micro-penis. So, he was really quite tallish, taller than me, really, really smart. First time going to see him, and he said he was into humiliation. And I've said before, humiliation doesn't come easy to me. Even though I can be a little bit cunty, it's not necessarily in a horrible way, really. And so I find it really hard. I've got to find something on them to humiliate them for. Or, you haven't filled your clothes up properly, you're not worthy or whatever it is. But with this guy, I'm like, what am I going to find to humiliate him for? So before we started the session, he handed me over a chastity device, a metal chastity device. If you don't know what that is, it's a cock cage. It's about that big. It bends round. It's got a lock on it. And basically, some mistresses make their subs wear a cock cage so they can't wank until they're released. So we gave him this chastity device, and I was like, so maybe he wanted to wear it for the duration of the session. We hadn't talked about it. We thought, he's given me it. We'll have a little chat about it. Anyway, I said, right, start stripping off. So he turned his back away from me, and I'm holding this thing ready to put it on. He turned away, stripped down, and then turned round, and I went, I laughed. So he was deadpan serious, and he knew what he was doing. He had not told me that there wasn't a penis, and he'd either waxed or he'd shaved the whole of that area. So the micro-penis, it was very apparent. It was just this little, it was just this little button. And I'm standing there with a cock cage that big. He'd done it on purpose. Well, honest to God, Nance, I was laughing so much so I would put my hands on my knees. I was bent over howling. Like, he hasn't got a penis and he's giving me this thing. He was trying to keep a straight face and keep his submissive composure like that. But he looked at me and tears were starting to come down my eyes. You know when you start laughing and you can't stop?
Yeah.
Well, I was gone. I was absolutely gone. Anyway, he was trying to be the humiliated sub, but my laugh was obviously quite addictive. He started laughing. Well, the pair of us, easily 15 minutes. He was on the floor in the end, sat down. I was leaning against the A-frame. I couldn't stop. Anyway, we had to stop the session because I just could not continue. And he actually said to me, he went, "That is the best session I've ever had." He said, because that was genuine humiliation. You were genuinely laughing at my cock.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the fact that you get this big chastity cage and there's nothing to put it on, mate. I was not expecting it. I said it was genuine laughter. You went for them for a good 5 minutes. I felt like the worst. I felt the most embarrassed person ever because you were laughing so hard. He went, but then I couldn't stop laughing myself. It was brilliant. And you come out of a session, your cheeks are hurting, your stomach's hurting, all them good hormones are flooding all over the place. And he feels well and truly humiliated. Fucking job done. 150 quid.
Same time next week.
It was the best, easiest 150 quid I've ever earned in my life. But I just, for the whole time, it wasn't even that big. It was like, I don't know, it was half the size of that. It was just like that. But I just wanted to go, beep. And just stick my finger and just go, beep. But no, I didn't. I couldn't get off the floor. I don't think laughing. It was funny as fuck, absolutely. But he is only the second person I've seen with a proper micro-penis. The first person, I'm not even going to give any details because he would be identifiable. I wasn't expecting that either. And I had to change my whole session because it was going to be cock and ball torture and I couldn't find his cock. I couldn't find it. Okay, I'm going to stay a little bit because this isn't going to identify him. But he was blindfolded and because he was blindfolded, he couldn't see my facial expressions. And I was like that going. And I went, this is terrible. I went, I'm parted the way. His pubic hair is about that long. And I was like that. And it still wasn't there. I just couldn't find it. It was in there somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So there you go. Micro-peens.
Micro-penises.
God love them and their little peens. Apparently, though, if your penis is over 7 centimetres, you haven't got a condition. It's nothing to do with hormones. You've just got a little dick. Sorry about that.
Sad times.
Sad times. So, on that bombshell, if you're binge watching, put the kettle on. We'll see you in 5. If not, we'll see you next week. See ya!
Bye.
And there we have it. Another day made better by listening to the curators of chaos. Thanks for dropping by. And if you enjoyed the show, we'd really appreciate you sharing the Love the Paddysell podcast with your friends. Don't forget to give us a follow on our socials, maybe some 5-star reviews. And feel free to send us an email to medic@thepaddysellpodcast.co.uk or even interact with us on Facey, Insta and our other socials because we love chatting to you. Make sure you stop by next week because, as Bowie says, I don't know where I'm going next, but I promise it won't be boring. Catch you soon.